So I was a junk guy, right? I mean, Gil knows you get called the junk guy, the trash guy, all kinds of crazy names, but I was proud to be the junk guy, you know? Because I was always about how do we repurpose this stuff? How do we keep it out of the landfill? I hired a couple people that would rehab furniture. We would sell it online. And then downstairs, we're going to do like a production studio where we rehab furniture, kept it out of the landfill. We would donate as much as we could. We had a metal scrapping operation. That was a picture of a baler, so all the cardboard we got, we baled it up, took it to Green Guy. So there was like, it didn't make a ton of money, but it paid the rent, it kept the lights on. And I saw the value in keeping this stuff out of the landfill because there's all these hidden costs with being on the road, wear and tear on your trucks, dump fees, crews stepping on nails in the landfill. So there was stuff like that where I'm like, yeah, I'm not selling it for a lot, but I'm saving all this money on dump fees. So it slowly evolved into this, let me add another junk removal business. Well, downstairs, I started a rage room. I heard about these rage rooms, right? They started in Japan, and then they started getting popular about 4 years ago. So I started a rage room as an experiment, and before I knew it, it just blew up. We had tons of people here. People were here to have fun, celebrate, but they were also here to relieve stress, right? They went through a divorce, or someone got stood up on the altar, and they wanted somewhere to just have an outlet, just like when you get a massage. They wanted some stress relief. So we're in the business of emotion. So being in the business of emotion, you're making people feel better, and that's kind of what I did in the junk removal industry too. Making people feel better about their garages, cleaning their houses out or whatever, just making them feel better. So this is a very similar business. Was a paramedic for 15 years, got a little burned out and wanted to transition into something a little bit different. So I love running businesses. This is our 4th year of business. Let me go back to the slide here real quick. We had a bit of a transition from being a junk removal business, and that's actually the cover of GI Jobs magazine, where I was, it's not a huge magazine, not like Time or anything, but the story was about how I took trash and repurposed it and made money on the back end of that. Let me go to the next slide here. So this is we did some rebranding, right? So I went from being a junk removal business to a resale and recycling business, which is what we did here in this shell. It was completely built out, this entire second floor, HVAC, everything. So a lot of money got put into this place. What we realized were there are a lot of like people driving here sometimes up to an hour, and they're like, I don't want to just do 15 minutes worth of smashing. I want to do other stuff. Or they have a kid, their kid's under 10 years old. The kids want to do something, they can't do the rage room, so let's create these other activities. So we have these selfie scenes. We incorporate marketing into everything we do. So everything you see, we've got the Unchartered Adventures in the background. We are in the business of content creation. So what we're finding is we have a lot of millennials and Gen Z. They want to create content on TikTok and Snapchat and Instagram and all that. So everything we have here is all Instagrammable. We encourage people to create content, take pictures, tag us. So I kind of saw like, I don't want to just be a rage room, right? Because anyone can be a rage room. I mean, anyone can go get junk, and I mean, I'd be competing with Gil if I was, he gets junk in all the time. He could go set up a rage room in his yard or whatever, right? So I wanted to have more activities, not just a rage room. I want to have a splatter paint room that you see here. Escape rooms, we have axe throwing, we even have a bar downstairs. So if anyone wants to drink after, let me know. Wake you up a little bit. We do a lot of birthday parties here, corporate events, team building. So it's a good way to like boost morale with your staff, have a good time, create some unique content. I'm gonna go to the next slide here. So Unchartered Adventures, what is it? It's a fun place to go. It's entertainment. We cater to all ages. We want to eventually franchise. We're about to actually build out our second location in the San Antonio area. We actually just signed the lease a couple weeks ago, so we're already tearing the walls out down there. I've always been an escape room connoisseur. I don't know who likes escape rooms here. I love escape rooms, right? So I wanted to have escape rooms that have unique features, right? So all our escape rooms are fully immersive. They have unique, like movie grade props. Behind the scenes is I have a production team, and that's what really makes this business. I've got so many talented people that work for me. I've got artists. I've got, Jen Netherton. She's a local artist here in Kyle, so she works here full time. All the set dressing. I have a guy that worked in a haunted house industry, so he does like our smoke and light effects and our sound effects. So we have about 18 employees that work here. We're about to add about 20 more employees for the San Antonio location. And it's actually the staff, I think, that's really like pushed us up, creating a team, creating a talented team. It's the staff that has really made a lot of the unique stuff that you see here, and everyone's minds are put together, and then we just come up with these really good ideas and bounce ideas off each other. We established the business in 2019. Last year we had $820,000 in gross sales. We have downstairs, there's an airsoft and shooting gallery right next to the axe throwing arena. And we're actually going to make that into another escape room. I'm going to go to the next slide here. So I talked about we're in the business of emotion, right? So we also are bringing solutions to people's problems. One of those solutions being that there are rage rooms across the country that are operated and in many locations, but they're not very organized, and a lot of them, they're not taking safety precautions into consideration. They're not sourcing correctly. And so we want to create a franchise system where we can teach new owners, this is how you run your rage room business. Here's an operations manual. Here's some guidelines. And this is how you run a successful rage room. There are people that are in need of healthy and safe coping mechanisms to deal with anger and stress in their everyday lives that are affordable. So I don't know if y'all noticed, but we have a podcast studio downstairs. So we've got people that come in, and some people come in by themselves and they have issues that they need to deal with. So with their permission, we'll talk to them, we'll interview them. It gives them an opportunity to get their story off their chest. And then they come up here and they get in the rage room, they play their music. We talk about the playlist that they have. We talk about, they might write some things down on the printers. We had a combat veteran that came in a couple weeks ago, and he wrote some stuff down. And it gives them an opportunity to feel better because they want to get it off their chest. And then we videotape it, and then we push the content out on YouTube. So it's called Rage Room Confessions, and we want to make that into a nonprofit where we can actually give people an opportunity that can't afford a rage room, like someone that's low income or kids. You might have a child that's punching walls into the drywall in your house and causing damage, or we feel like smash therapy is a term. Smash therapy is a very effective form of managing anger and just managing your stress in your everyday lives. We want to also do the podcast. We offer them a free rage room right now. So if you know anyone that might benefit from that, let us know. And sometimes we can make it anonymous if they don't want to actually be on camera. So we want to offer a very safe opportunity, controlled environment for people to be able to deal with their stress and their anger. These are our struggles right now. So I know we're kind of out in the middle of nowhere. So this business was never meant for customers. It was meant to be a business kind of like an HVAC solar panel, just like the other businesses out here. We struggle with walkability. We struggle with visibility and signage. We have some people that come here at nighttime and they just turn around and leave because they're like, oh my God, I'm going to get murdered out here, you know? So that's been a challenge for us, right? But at the same time, I've put so much money in this place, it's like, we can't just pick up and move all this stuff somewhere else. So we have the new location that's got way more visibility. A lot of landlords are scared of liability, right? So someone's going to get injured. They're afraid of the noise. Like maybe the tenant next door is going to get angry about this noise generation. And so with our growth and our franchising, that's going to be a challenge that we're going to have going through. And the other big challenge, and this is kind of a question that I'm going to pose to you guys, is the acquisition of breakables. So we go through about 1,500 items literally every weekend. Glass items, electronics, keyboards, printers. And so if someone wants to open up their own Unchartered Adventures, or as we expand, we have to gain more vendors that are willing to give us this stuff for the right price or for free. So creating new partnerships with vendors. And another thing is the build-out cost, right? So with materials being costly right now, is anyone going to be able to find a unique team member that can do this kind of stuff, right? Someone that can do the tech work and the design of an escape room, that's very challenging. So that's another hurdle that we're going to have to face going through our growth process. I mentioned the acquisition of breakables. So one of my questions is, do you know someone, or do you have a connection with someone in the bar, restaurant industry, maybe someone that has electronic waste recycling, like a tech kind of industry? We also go through 2 junk cars every week because we do car smashes downstairs where people just destroy a car and tag it up with graffiti. So maybe you know a junk car person, or maybe you know a person that works at a winery that we can get the empty bottles from. That would be one of my questions posing to you guys, but does anyone have any other questions that they would like to ask? Thank you. I know I kind of went over a little bit.